All right. We're back. It's time for another Devs deck. And I gotta hear that bell ring because we're about to give some goblins their wings with Tilonalli's Summoner or Tilonalli's Visit. Pretty cool deck from Dev. Hope you guys like it. If you give it the thumbs up, I appreciate that. And if you like the content in general, consider subscribing to the channel. You know? All right, let's jump into this. All right, we got a pretty sweet little deck here. I guess I should switch over to the deck tech portion of this. If you want to check out Dev's deck tech and you haven't done that yet, be sure to check the information icon above. And if you want to see the deck list, it's in the link below. There's also a quick rent link for manatraders if you guys don't have the cards and you do play on MTGO, or you want to do some testing with this deck before you actually pick up the cards in arena, because you may or may not want to spend 4 rares on Tilonalli Summoner, and if you don't have the histories of Benalia or other rares, there's a lot of rares in the deck, so if you don't have them, do some testing on MTGO before you jump over there. manatraders is a great way to do that. Allows you to test all of the decks for a flat rate. You don't have to have an MTGO collection. You can just rent and go from there. There's a link in the description box below on how to sign up, and if you do sign up, check out the coupon code Sideboard MTG Red. It'll save you 15% on your first 3 months when you sign up. All right, let's talk a little bit about the deck. Right, we've got Divine Visitation, and this is kind of one of the backbone cards to this deck. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. Now, the way this works is this is a replacement effect for any time that a creature would be created. So if we have Goblin or our War Boss here, our Legion War Boss, I almost said Goblin Rabble Master. I almost said it. Not quite Goblin Rabble Master, but it ain't really far away. Anyway, Legion War Boss here. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token, period. Right? So that's the part that will get the replacement effect from Divine Visitation. And then that token gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able. So your angel will get haste, and since the angels that we're going to be getting are going to have flying and vigilance, it won't actually tap. So you will get the token. It will still have to attack if able, and it should be able to attack. But you'll be swinging immediately with a 4/4 angel on turn 5 if you can drop Divine Visitation on turn. When we move over to Tilonalli Summoner, it's got a send, and whenever Tilonalli Summoner attacks, you may pay red and X. If you do, create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Alright, so you will still create the angels. They will be tapped and attacking. And at the beginning of the next step, exile those tokens unless you have the City's Blessing. You'll still lose your angels if you don't have the City's Blessing, but if you've got a bunch of mana, this is a great follow-up for Divine Visitation. Now, being able to play this before Divine Visitation means that it needs to survive a turn. So, you may end up in some type of situation where you can't actually get a chance to pump into this due to having to play some other cards or something like that. But this deck's not really defensive on the front side of it, and if you check out Dev's deck tech, you'll see in the power rankings that no, it's not a very defensive deck, but it's got a lot of offense, and this is kind of why. Late game, you're going to be able to pump just insane amounts into your Tilonalli Summoner, which will give you tons of angels. And if you have the City's Blessing, which it's not going to be very hard to do, especially if you already have 5 lands and a Divine Visitation down and a Tilonalli, that is already 7 permanents. So you only need to create a minimum of 3 angels to go ahead and get to that City's Blessing. We've also got cards like Legion's Landing. Legion's Landing, just as soon as it enters the battlefield, it's going to create a token for you. And as you know, in this situation, tokens become angels. We've got Siege Gang Commander, great follow-up for a Divine Visitation. You play a Divine Visitation on 5, you follow up with a Siege Gang on 6, and you're going to get, 3 angels with flying vigilance, 4/4 angels instead of 1/1 red goblins. We've got Instigator Gang. Now, in this particular deck, like most of the time, I always say that this card is just like not Hordling Outburst, but Dragon Fodder. But in this situation, it's not quite like Dragon Fodder. Dragon Fodder would give you 2 tokens. This is going to give you the 1/1 Goblin creature, and then give you an angel token. We've also got History of Anaya. As much as I would like to say that History of Anaya is going to be great after Divine Visitation, and of course it will be, I'm actually really excited to have this actually on curve to help us, put enough threat out there to allow us to continue pushing that early offensiveness towards our opponent. And I really like History of Benalia in this deck, even for a follow-up late game or if we're just playing it on curve. Now, we've also got, Karn, Scion of Urza. This is really good as well because, it'll allow us to look for some cards. We can, uptick it, on turn 4, and then turn 5 play a Divine Visitation, then downtick Karn. That's really sweet as well. We've got some removal cards in here, like Ixalan's Binding, and we've got Lava Coil. Lava Coil, still one of the best 2-mana removals we have in Standard right now. Now, it probably is the best red removal in Standard for 2 mana. So nothing to laugh at here. Lava Coil is a pretty big deal. I do have to mention that we've got our Doom Traveler here. Not exactly a Doom Traveler. Doesn't give us a spirit, but we do get a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink. And heaven forbid you got this little fella after you get a Divine Visitation down. You may just keep plinking in for 1 for they may be afraid to kill it, right? So Haunted Witness, not bad in the deck. So that's the main deck. Again, I guess I should mention the land, right? Memorial to Glory. This just gives us an option to create some more tokens from our mana base, and just getting a little bit of extra out of the mana base is really good. Lava Coil, your opponent's recoil when you play it, right? It's pretty good. All right, again, this deck is a Boros tokens deck. I do like the Divine Visitation decks. We've played a few of them in the past. I've actually had quite a bit of luck with a few of those in the past, and the deck seems to have all the parts there in order to really push some damage. In my opinion, one of the worst cards in the main deck is Tilonalli Summoner. Oh no, I know. A lot of people are like, hey, what? What do you mean Tilonalli Summoner's one of the worst? We'll talk about that a little bit during the gameplay. Let's look at the sideboard really quick, and then we'll go from there. Now, in the sideboard, we've got Demystify, which Tom the Boss Ross says this is the white Spell Pierce, right? Is this the one, right? Demystify, you just destroy those enchantments, get rid of those History of Benalias, get rid of Curious Obsession, things like that. Get rid of Seal Aways, get rid of Ixalan's Bindings. Just destroy target enchantment. We've also got Sheevan Fire. Now, you could run Shock if you want, but I actually like Sheevan Fire. Just giving that versatility to be able to kill something bigger in the late game seems absolutely great. We've got Banefire, which, my saying for Banefire, who doesn't want to Banefire someone? If you're planning on getting into that late game, then Banefire is going to be absolutely great. Especially if you've been doing a lot of chip damage with the tokens throughout the game, and then all of a sudden you get to finish them off with a Banefire. That's going to be pretty sweet. Direfleet Daredevil. If you've been looking at the results from the GP Dallas, or sorry, SCG Dallas and GP Memphis, you're going to see a lot of Direfleet Daredevils. There's a lot of people running this main board in some of their decks. The cards, it's the real deal. I've been a big fan of Direfleet Daredevil for quite some time. Whenever Direfleet Daredevil enters the battlefield, exile target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast that card this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. If that card would be put into the graveyard this turn, exile it instead. This is one of the better draw spells you're going to have against a lot of control decks. We don't have a lot of draw in the main deck. Actually, there's pretty much no draw in the main deck. But believe it or not, Direfleet Daredevil, in most situations, you're going to want to just pull their draw spells. In the late game, this deck actually has more powerful lines than the average deck that you're going to be playing, and being able to get more of your own cards for your synergy reasons is probably going to be the way to go. Now, if you absolutely need to grab something like a Vraska's Contempt or something like that on turn 6, then of course you could do that as well. But remember, it does have to be out of your opponent's graveyard. This is not a Snapcaster Mage. Man, if they would have given this thing Flash, oh, they would have given it Flash. They should have given it Flash, right? Instead of First Strike, just give it Flash. But First Strike's nothing to laugh at either. Really good against the mono-white decks. We've also got Unbreakable Formation, allowing us to really just have a nice combat trick or push our angels over the top, right? Making our angels turn into 5/5s is great. And that being said, Lyra will do the same thing. I mean, you can make some angels, slap down a Lyra, and now it's going to be really, really hard to lose. We've also got copies of a Johnny. Another way to buff up our dudes, maybe make our Tilonalli Summoner just a little bit bigger so that, you know, she can survive a little bit. Making Direfleet Daredevil bigger so that First Strike, you know, can protect you a little bit more. You know, all of these are wonderful plays to go along with the synergies of the deck. So I like the synergies here, and the deck's pretty sweet. Again, I think Tilonalli Summoner is probably the weakest card in the deck. I personally, in my opinion, I think that, and again, this is just my opinion. I know some of you guys are like, hey, you know, but Divine Visitation, if you're going to play it on turn 5, you're doing nothing on that turn. So having cards that will create a token the turn that you play Divine Visitation is extremely important in this deck. And the only card that we have that can do that, well, we've got a couple. The only cards we have that can do that are Karn. You know, you can play the Divine Visitation, activate Karn, make a token. Play Divine Visitation, enter combat, make a token with Legion Warboss, or maybe somehow get this killed in combat, but you won't be swinging with that angel that turn. So we've got a couple ways on the turn that you play Divine Visitation to actually make tokens. Personally, I think that is kind of a little bit of a non-bow there with Tilonalli Summoner. If you play Tilonalli Summoner before your Divine Visitation, then you're going to have to wait an entire turn before you can actually start to get in and make tokens with your Summoner. So, you know, that's the thing. Why would you want Rekindling Phoenix when you wouldn't get your elemental token? Your elemental token would become an angel and would not give you back your Rekindling Phoenix. Therefore, any card that would leave a token would be better than Rekindling Phoenix. So I don't know. What's the white card? Leonin War Leader? That's actually the card that I think would be really good if you wanted to add an extra 4-drop to the deck. Leonin War Leader will create 2 angels the turn that it swings. So we played some versions of this deck in the past here on the channel, and the deck's actually really sweet. There were times where we were just making so much stuff and doing so many things that we just didn't even care what the opponent was doing. There was no way to lose at that point, and it was absolutely awesome. Like swinging into Settle, leaving back 10 dudes, swinging in with 10 other dudes. It's like, what are you going to do, opponent? You know, cast your Settle or die. So you know, we've got some we've got some interactions here. Yes, I do know that that Dev said something about that card. I personally like that card. I think that a couple copies of the War Leader would be my inclusion. If I made any changes to this deck, I would probably peel 2 summoners out of the deck and throw in Leon and War Leader. That's just my opinion. Because I really hate paying all my mana for a card that's not going to do anything that turn. Yes, that makes it a serious drawback, so normally Wizards will print some massive power in these lines of text, but yeah, that's just kind of how it goes, right? I mean, you've got Sarkhan's Unsealing, which you're not going to do anything the turn that you play Sarkhan's Unsealing if you're playing it on curve, but the following turns, oh my goodness, good things can happen. So same thing here with Divine Visitation. So if you got some way to abuse it, that would be making a token the turn that it comes in, so you can get some extra abuse out of it. And at that point, it wasn't a 5 mana do nothing. So, all right, let's get rid of our preview here, and we'll talk to chat a little bit, jump into some gameplay, and go from there. I know there's probably a lot of you like, you know, hey, don't break Dev's deck down, don't do that. But I think I'm entitled to my opinion. Yeah, does that make me self-entitled? Right? How about heroic reinforcements over summoner? Heroic reinforcements would work. I mean, you could play heroic reinforcements if you wanted to. I don't think that you shouldn't run like any summoners. Like it's if you're going to build some jank, then build some jank, right? But if you're trying to be, you know, a little bit more serious about it, then okay, maybe you don't want any summoners. The summoner is actually the most jank card in this deck. The rest of the deck is pretty serious, guys. Like you're probably going to be able to take some wins with this deck. I'm not gonna lie, like this deck's got the parts it needs to be able to do some really mean stuff, and I just in my opinion, I think the summoner itself, which I know it's the namesake card, but I think that's one of the weaker cards in the deck. Dev's got a great base here, and I think if I was going to actually play this deck, I'd probably drop the summoner. And that, again, that's my opinion, but we'll get into some gameplay. We'll see how it goes and go from there. Yes, the War Leader would be good. I 100% believe that the War Leader at least deserves a 1 or a 2 of in the deck. Maybe you don't want to run 4 Karn. Maybe you don't own 4 Karn. Drop a War Leader in that spot. I wouldn't overfill my 4-drop slot, though, just to get rid of the summoner, right? Did you make it? Yes, Hayden, you made it. You made it, buddy. Congratulations. Ring that bell. Give that goblin his wing. It's an old Christmas joke for some of you. Anyway, we should run the War Leader after testing. We ran the War Leader in the versions that we played in the past, so I mean, I'm just gonna run Deb's version of the deck, and we'll go from there. My prediction for the night, though, is we will probably never get to make Angels with Tilonalli's Summoner. That's my prediction. This hand's not horrible. It's not horrible. We have our namesake card. We've got 3 lands. That's a good start. We've got some removal, and we can get a Legion's Landing down. So I'll keep. There's even a chance that we'll draw a planes off the top. There's 9 planes in the deck, so I mean we even have a chance to be able to get that turn 1 Legion's Landing. Ooh, some green black, right? Hope this works out. But card draw matters in this meta. It does. It does matter. Card quality matters in the meta as well, and card quality is a pretty serious thing. Why does card draw matter there, Trey Williams? Because we're in a game where 1-for-1ing people is a thing, right? Like you need to 1-for-1 as often as possible. Like we should be able to 1-for-1 this token versus that Merfolk Branchwalker, right? And that's going to feel great for us. And if they spend a spell to kill our token, they did not. I actually want to turn 4 Legion War Boss more than I want a token. Because I feel that there's a cast down lying right there. So I'm just gonna get rid of this Merfolk Branchwalker and swing. Right? Come on. Come on. Yeah. That makes me feel so much better right there. If we would have just dropped the Legion War Boss, they would have just killed the Legion War Boss, and then we would have had to trade our token. Here, we actually come out with a much better turn 4 play. Hey, Karn. This is the new updated version. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, you can have a forest, which is probably not a good thing either, because then you can just, you know, play stuff with that. Oh man, Sacred Foundry. We'll play the Sacred Foundry tapped here. Play our Legion War Boss, which may still die. It may easily die to, you know, of a Vraska's Contempt or something like that. But I'm gonna make this Goblin. We're gonna ping an old Karn there just a little bit. Lava Coil, so good, right? Ooh, any J Light Ranger. Oh. Don't kill that War Boss. He did not kill the War Boss. He didn't kill the War Boss. Woohoo. Good times in store, ladies and gentlemen. We got our double white. Here we go. Now, this is when Divine Visitation gets great, right? Summoner would have not been good at any point up until, like, at this point. Summoner's great in the late game. Again, that's why I think that you only want, like, you know, 2, maybe 3 copies of Summoner in the deck. And, yeah. Bye, Karn. See you, buddy. So, we're looking pretty decent right now. Looking pretty decent. You see Dev finally got on our level. We said Tilonalli when this thing first got spoiled. Yeah, I still think Tilonalli's horrible for the deck. I do. That's going to be my opinion. No! No! I really want to lava coil that J Light Ranger. If I lava coil a J Light Ranger, I'm swinging with everything. That gives me a much more aggressive turn if I lava coil the J Light Ranger. The problem is that is so. Oh no, wait! If we lava coil the J Light Ranger, then we get to flip the Legion's Landing. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing it. We'll go with this guy. We'll go at this guy. We'll go at Vraska. We'll go at this guy. I don't think he actually has more removal spells, or he would have killed he would have killed our Legion War Boss or the Angel. Wow. All right. All right, opponent. Putting both of those in front. Okay, fine. That's okay with me. I'm just gonna play Karn, and we're gonna uptick Karn. See what we can find. 2 cards have entered. So we've got Instigator Gang and a land. We'll play land. Pass the turn. Alright, now we've got a decent board state, and you know, our flyer is going to be pretty good. If he drops Vivian in order to kill the flyer, then we Vraska Golgari Queen. Alright, that can kill the flyer. Okay. But the Golgari Queen still dies here. I'm probably still just going to go Siege Gang Commander. Let's, I don't want Goblin Instigator Gang here. That's what we have in exile that we could down-tick Karn for. I want to keep looking for... Ooh, another Legion War Boss. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. So, we play our land. If we play... let's... swing at Voroska. It's a little bit risky to not swing at Voroska with both, but again, I think if he had a kill spell, I think we would have seen it already. So now we can, like, how do we want to do this? I guess this is fine, right? He's gonna scoop to the Siege Gang Commander. Fine Finale's brutal here. Yeah, Fine Finale would be fairly brutal, but again, if he had it, I think he would have played that because he would have killed the Angel and wiped the board. So, did all right with that. I think playing around that cast down on turn 2 was probably the play that won it for us. All right. Let's see here. You guys get mad at me if I just sideboard this out every game? I don't think we need to because we kind of want that to happen at some point, right? Yeah. After Siege Gang, didn't matter. Right, because I could have just played Siege Gang, played the Haunted Witness, and left 2 mana open to shoot something. So, yeah, things are about to get crazy. I really like Direfleet Daredevil here, right? Because every kill spell that he brings in versus us, I don't think I'm going to take out more than 2. Right, I'll just take out the 2, and then that leaves us with the option of pulling this late game and just going ham. We know that he's going to be bringing in cards to remove, like, oh, we'll leave that, to remove our enchantments. So he may not have a lot of enchantment removal because he thinks that his planeswalkers can handle that. Haunted Witness seems a little bit weak here. I actually want... I'm actually kind of thinking about just running it like that. Just bring in the Direfleet Daredevils. This way we get to take his cast downs. I mean, taking his cast downs and Voroska's Contempts look really, really good to me. 2 Divine for 2 Lyra. That's probably a really good idea. Or at least 1. And you know, I'm actually going to take Siege Gang Commander out for Lyra. I think Lyra's pretty decent here, especially, you know, with cast downs and stuff. Drop a Karn for a Johnny. I could see that. If we make it a game 3, we'll do that. Well, the problem is there's no, like, real shock value right there, right? Alright, so we got to worry about Duress, but if he takes this with a Duress, then we're just going to get into the History of Benalia game plan and go from there. And I'll turn 3 Duress him back. I'm going to keep this. We've already got our double white, which means that History's going to come in fairly easily. We can go, you know, turn 1 Legion's Landing, turn 2 Lava Coil something, turn 3 History of Benalia, that sort of thing. So, all right, opponent. We'll see you. I could definitely get behind dropping 1 Karn for an Ajani. Especially with the Ajani having the ability to bring back a Direfleet Daredevil. So, ooh, we got our Lava Coil target. Bet you don't swing with that elf. I'll block. I'll do it. I ain't scared. I would love a land off the top. A land would be wonderful. Magnifico. Still gonna play the life here. And it's exiled. No finding this again. Have to get you a whole new copy. Man, definitely willing to swing with this vampire. What's he gonna do? Block? Didn't think so. And if it swings back, I mean, we gain life, so. If he blocks, that signifies he probably has a couple lands in hand, so. Tilonalli Summoner can run away with things. It can. That's why I think it's a good late game card, right? And when you see 4 copies of the card in it, the opponent's just going to scoop. He's just going to scoop. He's beat. He's beat. Beat. Sorry, cool guy. I can't compare Tilonalli Summoner to Thief of Sanity. I have a hard time making that comparison. I don't know why, but I do. Mr. Right Meow. Mr. Right Meow. That's a cool name. The Summoner. This is an interesting card. You are going to have your stronger lines of play in games where you don't have the Summoner. This is not a great hand. It's not a horrible hand, but it's not a great hand. We have a high probability of not drawing red and drawing... man, I mean, if he's a fast deck, we are in trouble. Unless we top deck that land. Divine Visitation is normally not a card that you want to see in multiples. I'm going to mulligan. Sure. We're going to put that on the bottom. Watch, we'll never see our 5th land now. Never going to see it. Never going to happen, never going to happen. Thief has flying. Evasion's pretty important when you're needing to connect. We're not going to pay for that. So, what's our better 3-drop here? I think History of Benalia, and then play the turn 4 Legion War Boss into turn 5 Divine Visitation. I think that's the route I want to go. If we can resolve any of that. Oh! We've been erasured. Thought erasure. You think someone's waiting for a Mardu Brew? I don't think it's a competitive card. I just don't. I mean, I can see it in a Mardu Brew, but I just don't think it's a competitive card. And I know I can already see the arguments in the comment section below. I just don't like the Summoner. I don't like it. I think it's a little too much jank. What do people think about the London Mulligan? Oh my goodness, Aiden, you're gonna have to explain that to me. I know the Vancouver Mulligan system, which is what we're currently on. What's the London? All right, I'm gonna play it. I'm sure he's got an absorb for this. What? No absorb? And it's gonna make a token? Oh, we're getting Wrath. There's a Wrath spell waiting to happen. It's a tabletop homebrew card. Yeah, exactly. The thing about this is minus the Summoner, this deck's actually got some real merit. I really do believe this deck's got merit to it. So I'm going to get rid of the Sacred Foundry. I've got plenty of red sources, and now I've got plenty of white, so. I feel good about that. I feel really good about that. I mean, that's a hit for 5 right there. Crawl Harpooner has impressed me a lot, actually. Crawl Harpooner has been very impressive. If you guys seen the Gruul list that did good last week at GP Memphis. No! I guess we dump our hand here, right? Here we go. We play this. Now we gotta wait 2 turns for the summoner. There's the Mortify. Yep. I will pump everything into the summoner here. And this is why I say summoner's better as like maybe a 2 or a 3 of, because you don't want it early in the game. You want it late game. And it's gone. I said it will probably never get a summoner activation in this game. I said that. I did say that. Believe it or not, I've played quite a few of these Divine Visitation decks. I'm a big fan of Divine Visitation, even though it's a do nothing enchantment the turn that it comes down, because I believe that there's ways to break it. Dev has pulled off most of those in this deck. Like by being able to produce a token the turn that you tap out for your Divine Visitation is how you make some good value out of the card. So if you guys are going to be building these Divine Visitation decks, by all means, throw in, like, don't let up on the Legion war bosses. Like, that is one of the best ways to do it. Having cards like what's the little green-white card that when it taps it makes a token, right? That's a good way to do it. I can't think of it. I can't think of her name. I'm sure somebody in chat's got me though. You think Naya is the way to go? I do too. I really do. Amira, there you go. James Carr, my man. James Carr, he's got our back. All right, so he has to give us a Goblin Instigator or a Tilonalli Summoner. We get an Instigator. Okay. Like, how bad do you guys want to see this Summoner go off? Did you not see when we played the Naya version of this deck? Oh my goodness. It was so good. It was so good. I get it that just reading the text on Tilonalli Summoner makes it like an auto-include. Like, you just want to go, that's going to make some tokens. That's going to make a bunch of angels, and they all going to be attacking, and it's just going to be over. Your likelihood is slim. Slim. Oh, man. Gee. Do I want to get back that Summoner? I mean, whatever we uptick for here, we're not getting it back, right? We'll have to wait for the next Karn to get something back. It's our best thing. Like, we get the worst out of the top 2 cards we uptick. We downtick, we get a Summoner. I'm going to go for the Summoner, just because I want to do it for you guys. I know you guys want to see the Summoner. And he hasn't killed anything recently. I don't know, maybe this might happen. Like, Karn's so gone. Bye, Karn. Seraph of the Scales. Yeah, some Afterlife stuff might be a good way to go. I mean, Dev threw in some Afterlife here. We've got a Haunted Witness Afterlife card. I'm actually worried about a Ritual of Soot. Leonin War Leader plays around with Ritual of Soot. He just swung at us. Okay. I'll take a card. There's another Karn. Legion War Boss. He gave us the extra Karn. Are we getting settled? We're about to get settled, aren't we? Well, we got to swing with 3. Because I want to flip this Legion. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to dump it all. 1, a 2, a 3. Nope, nope. No, I'm gonna need that later. A 1, 2, and a 3. So we do some flipping. Get that flipping action in. And then we're going to activate Tilonalli Summoner. Do it for everything. Come on. Yeah, I wanna pay. Here we go. 6 dudes that don't go away. Settle the wreckage. No settle? No settle. Okay. Unless you have this thing. Alright. I mean, we can take one hit here. Does he just not have removal spells? Like, what is going on? That's decent. Another summoner, another Legion War Boss. I assume he gives me another summoner. Settle kills us right here. We die to settle. Alright. I do have to swing with a lifelinker. Here comes the settle. Yep. That's kind of what I expected. Yep. We will take it all. I was wrong. We got an activation. We did get an activation. I did not realize that. So, if you wait till it's attacking, you still get to pump, even though they've removed the summoner. I didn't realize that worked. Unfortunately, though... Boo-hoo. Where are we and how much have you missed? You haven't missed a whole lot. We won a game against Golgari, and then not Sultai, Golgari, but we won a game against Golgari, and then we are in our first game against Esper mid-range here, and Esper mid-range is doing some work to us. They're putting in some work. I did not realize that worked that way. Alright, so if I back off on a Karn for an Ajani, and I'm bringing the Direfleet Daredevils to be able to take his kill spells. I'm back off on Haunted Witness. Do we want to do that? Maybe. Take out a Divine Visitation. Take out Siege Gang Commander. I like that swap. I like this feels good right here. 3 Divine Visitation, 2 Ira. That seems like that's really sweet. Take out 2 Summoners. All right, what else do we want to bring in? Like making our dudes indestructible seems like that. Whoa! I don't. Unbreakable Formation seems like it'd be decent. What do we bring in for the Unbreakable Formation, though? We also need to be able to kill the what do I bring in for that? Like, I don't want to count token producers. Maybe Goblin Instigator. And we just take out a Goblin Instigator for an Unbreakable Formation, right? I really want to bring these Sheathen Fires in. Yeah, I think Lyra is really good versus the flyers that they have. So, I'm pretty game for that. I really want these Sheathen Fires, but I think this is also a matchup where I want to be able to take his kill spells and things. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's still available even though the card's gone. That's right. They removed the source, but not the ability. I'm going to run it like this. I really want to bring in those Sheathen Fires, but and maybe even Bane Fire. But wait, why no Tribunal? Conclave Tribunal? We've got Ixalan's Binding. Don't necessarily need Tribunal. Whew. If he doesn't Thought Erasure us, this would be a decent hand. This would be a hard hand to beat right here if he doesn't Thought Erasure us, but there's a good chance we're getting Thought Erasure. I am going to keep the double history hand, though, with the mana to cast it. Even though the rest of my lands are just lands, or the rest of my cards are lands, double history is hard to beat. Followed up with an Ajani? Oh, yeah. Here comes the Thought Erasure. No? No Thought Erasure? Alright, well, we'll start slamming. Don't negate me. Don't you negate me. Don't you do it. No negate. No negate! Sorry. This. Yeah, I like binding. Unexplained disappearance. He's put our knight back in our hand, where it dissolves to the aether. Thief of Sanity. Alright, opponent. Maybe I should just play the Sacred Foundry. Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring in the Sheathen Fires. I wanted to have an answer for Thief of Sanity. The possibility. Trey, I get that you want to play for a possibility, but that's risky, man. I'll do this, though. I'll Ixalan's Thief of Sanity. If he spends a Mortify on Ixalan's Binding, I'm fairly okay with that. Like, one of the things that wins Magic is consistency, man. No! Take my Planeswalker! He took my Planeswalker. Is he stuck? Is he stuck on mana? He's stuck on mana? That's right. You better take that Ajani or I smack you for 10 next turn, buddy. I'll do it. I ain't scared. We ain't scared. We ain't. We'll smack him. Just smackage. Alright, I'm going to play the card he knows about. It could be wrong to play down the Karn here and not just like slam down Divine Visitation. But I am more interested in him trying to use a Mortify on like my Ixalan's Binding or something like that. Or maybe even going, okay, I've got to get rid of these knights, or something along those lines. So, I mean, this is a card he knows about. So, let's see what he hit. Ooh, Unbreakable Formation. He got his land. Does he get to Ritual of Soot me here? Basilica Belhant. Look at that. We even have Basilica protection. That was by accident, guys. I did not plan that. Yep. We sure wasn't planning for the Basilica protection. Boom! Karn's making angels now. We'll pass. Don't ritual. No ritual. No ritual. If he has Mortify, it'll hit Binding. I don't think so. Not now. I think if he has Mortify, it's going to hit a Divine Visitation at this point. He Seraphs. Well. End of turn, I'll correct the Memorial. I mean, we've got some protection here as long as we don't spin anything. Next turn, I'm probably also going to grab the Unbreakable Formation. It might have been better for me to actually... Hey, there we go. We took that win. He's got nothing. Punish him. That's what we did. We punished him. Angels of Punishment. Alright, those Thief of Sanities, they're too scurry. They're just too scurry. I'm going to take out Instigator, or Goblin Instigator for it. And just bring in my Machine Fires. Yeah, this feels good. Finish him. Right? It's the Angel Finisher. So far the deck's actually playing pretty sweet. Like, then replay Karn and down tick him. Well, we would have actually made more Angels off of just sacking the land, so then down ticking Karn. So we are bad card to have in the opening hand, great card to have against Thief of Sanity, and we are one white source away from playing double history. Risk it for the biscuit, I guess. For the biscuit, we shall risk it. Yeah. Player red, pass. Yeah, well, I've been saying that since the beginning of the show. Like, Dev has built an amazing deck here. The way you make this deck stronger is peel out a couple of summoners. That's the way you make this deck stronger. I could even see going 3 Karn, 1 Ajani mainboard, right? And Lyra mainboard might even be a thing. That's right, you better take those histories. You better take that history. Because I'm not going to draw another white source. Go Goblins! Come on. White source. I'll pay 2 life. I will. I will. I'll do it. Let's pray to the angels. Alright, fine, fine. I'll just kill this. Ooh. Well, I'm still gonna do that. I ain't letting him get a free card off of me. It's just not worth it. Just kill that thing on sight. You think bolting the bird's a serious thing? You bolt that Thief of Sanity. Although last game he did hit us with a Thief of Sanity and milled 2 lands into the graveyard. Those lands would not have been great for us. Um, so, Trey, you were talking about you liking Conclave Tribunal over other cards in this deck, or over Ixalan's Binding, because you're going to get these more powerful early game plays. We've actually only got a few 1-drops in the deck. We don't have a ton of 2-drops. And yeah, you can Goblin Instigator and things like that. Wow. He knows we have a history in hand. Does he have Spell Pierce? If we get Spell Pierced, I'm going to be so mad. I'll do a Dr. Disrespect Deck Slam. Or Desk Slam. Alright? Alright, we didn't get... It didn't happen. Alright, you play your big thing. I top deck a land, and I'll Ixalan's Bind the... I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Look at that. I got another. This deck is great, guys. Worst card in the deck. Everything like this deck is extremely powerful. And the later the game goes, the better this card gets. So, good job, Dev. I know I'm going to get so many comments about Tilonalli Summoner's amazing, but, you know. No blocks? I mean, he could have eat a 1/1 for crying out loud. Come on, opponent. What are you doing? Daredevil, that thief? I need a lot more land for that. Got him. Got him. Well, Rekindling Phoenix becomes a non-bow with Divine Visitation. We were talking about that earlier. I mean, Rekindling Phoenix is not bad. No, it's not a bad card. But it is a non-bow. Like you're Rekindling. I mean, there's situations where you just want to get Rekindling Phoenix back over and over and over again. Turning the elemental into an angel still isn't a horrible thing. So, I mean, we've got that double history draw again. It's not a bad hand. Especially on the play. This is Legion's Landing into an Instigator, to a Goblin Instigator. And then on turn 3 we can flip, play History of Anaya. I mean, assuming everything lives. Is this a replay of the last game? No, I don't think this is the same person we were playing against. Is it? Is this the same person we was playing against? Oh, I'm sorry if it is. I'm still just going to go for the chance at a history flip. I could have not played the Goblin Instigator and played my tap land, but yeah. It's not the same person. Thanks, Madness. I appreciate that, man. Just a quick little rewind on the DVR, right? What are you going to take, opponent? Huh? 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 Take a History of Benaiah? Divine Visitation? What you going to take? You better take a History of Benaiah, or I'm just going to start slamming those. We're a long way from playing a Divine Visitation. Alright, maybe not that far, right? Maybe not that far. I need more coffee. That's right. You better take that. And he dumped a Boros Contempt. Somebody needs some land. Talking some wham bam thank you ma'am right here. Boros ramp. Might have a Mortify for the other. I expect him to have Mortify. I do expect Mortify. I also expect this to be the control variant, not the other variation. Or the mid-range variation. I mean, I'm basing that off of Boros Contempt. The mid-range decks typically don't play as many copies. What are you going to do, opponent? Let's make him counter it. Really hate to let him play this Absorb. We'll know right now if he's control. If he's got the Absorb, he's control. He's got the control and he's falling behind. Probably not a hero variant. You think the hero version is the best of the Esper variants? That's possible. Hey, got that Mortify. You called it. You called it. Oh, needs 2 blue for Absorb. You know, I didn't even notice that. Good on you. Good on you. Ritual of Soot. No? Kaya's Wrath. Well. You just be that way, opponent. Here you go. I'm just going to pass here. Make sure I haven't F6'd yet. At the end of his turn, or in response to something, I want to be making some angels. If he goes to remove my Divine Visitation, I'm going to make 2 angels. If he doesn't, then I'm just going to make 1 angel. I'm going to go for 2 angels here. I was actually a little bit worried about a double deputy. Double deputy would have been bad. There's that Absorb. Make him deal with what's on the board first. After he deals with this, then we'll be able to lava coil the deputy. You know, I've been asked that a couple times, and It's probably not a bad addition, right? Um, I was worried about the double deputy. Them double D's. I just said that. I just realized what the hell I said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Forgive me. Does he have another absorb? No. Heroic reinforcements could be an interesting card. I don't think the deck is looking for that, you know, that really just bam, gotcha kind of thing, you know. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think this deck wants to just be really powerful and consistent. And I mean, you could bring in heroic reinforcements. You could have heroic reinforcements, but personally, I would give that slot to unbreakable formation. I really would. Heroic reinforcements could fit in the deck by all means. It really could. And but you normally want a permanent on the battlefield that can produce tokens for you. Because the way you break Divine Visitation, and I use that card lightly, break Divine Visitation. The way you break Divine Visitation is you actually use Divine Visitation, like, you want to make a token the turn that it comes out, and you're never going to be able to do that with Heroic Reinforcements. And that's going to be my justification for saying this might not be the right deck for Heroic Reinforcements. Yeah, the card fits, yeah, it makes tokens. And I don't think you want to just get behind, you know, hey, I've got Divine Visitation. It says whenever I make a token that I can, whenever I make a token, I, you know, get an angel. I don't think you just want to, oh, okay. I don't think you just want to like get stuck on this, hey, this card makes tokens, so therefore this card would be good in Divine Visitation. I think you want to prioritize permanents that can make tokens without sinking mana into them or needing more mana, right? Because you want to play your Divine Visitation, and then you want to just kind of go from there. Like, you just want to have your cards actually make tokens by themselves without... You just want to make stuff the turn Divine Visitation comes down. I'm trying to find the best way to word this, and, you know, right. Alright. He's got our Karn. It's okay, though. He no hit me with no Tifa Sanity. He won't sweep the board. Another land for you there, opponent. Yeah, I think Leon and War Leader is the better card here. It's a 4-drop like Karn that makes angels. You're Scott, man. I'm with you on the Leon and War Leader. I think that 1 or a 2 up Leon and War Leader in this deck is magnifico. Oh, really? Do you have a kill spell, opponent? Well, show me your kill spell. You show me. Show me what you're working with. Yeah, Naya Visitation gives you a lot more permanents that produce tokens, and I like permanents that produce tokens. I love the fact that he's got 3 Legion landings in this deck. Like, I really like this deck. Like, I know I'm going to get some comments in the comment section about, you know, the way I talked about Tilonalli Summoner, but I just don't think that, you know, I just don't think this is the way to run Summoner. Even though it is broken when it happens, but we've yet to be able to make a bunch of angels with Tilonalli Summoner. So now what do you mortify? Now you got to kill the angel. Okay. You got it. You got to settle? Because I'll take it. I'll take it. And I'll pump everything into this summoner. Let's see that settle. Bam. Settled us. We got settled. So now he has to downtick, grab a hostage taker, take our Tilonalli Summoner. This is probably bad. This could get real bad. He just keeps up ticking Karn. What are you taking out to bring in 4 4-drops? Like, I don't like adding more 4-drops. I don't like adding that many more 4-drops. So, does he have another settle? Take all these land. Just thin my deck out. Scoop to the summoner. Sweet. I mean, I talk bad about the card, but it wins. It did win. The opponent don't want to play against us no more. The opponent don't want to play against us no more. Right. If he did settle us, we would have any lands in the deck that weren't non-basics. All right. So we got some good games in. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the deck? Now, again, we never got around to the point of activating Tilonalli Summoner with the Divine Visitation. We did get to activate the card, right? You know, Summoner MVP. Come on, Kenneth. Come on. The card's not bad. It's not. It's still not. I still don't think this is the right deck for it. I would drop 2 copies of this. I don't want to see this on turn 2. I don't want to see this on turn 3. I don't want to see this on turn 4. I don't want to see this on turn 5. But on turn 6, that's when you might want to see it. So I don't think this warrants a 4-of in the deck. Peeling off of any copies of Tilonalli Summoner makes me lean further towards Leon and War Leader. Right? The less summoners are in the deck, the more I want Leon and War Leader. As far as the deck goes, the backbone of this deck is great. I said that at the beginning. I think that card's great. For those of you that don't know what Leon and War Leader is, let me pull that card up for you guys really quick. Really quick. Is it just one word? I think it's just. So I would look at the deck somewhere like this, right? And maybe even bring that a Johnny in. I was going to run it in Boros, I think that I would start somewhere in this range. Couple copies of Tilonalli Summoner. You want to see this later in the game. You don't want to see it early. The later in the game you get, the more broken it is, right? Drop 2 Karns for 2 reinforcements and drop 1 Summoner for Leon and War Leader. Nah, I can't get behind that either. I can't get behind... I'm not going to recommend putting reinforcements in this deck whatsoever. Again, in order to break this card, this is the way I think you would want to do it. I'm not 100% on running all 4 copies of Divine Visitation. However, I'm not going to say take out a copy of a Divine Visitation, because I think that you do want the card. Like, this deck gets powerful when it has Divine Visitation, and you're going to want to see this every single game, and you're probably going to want it on curve. And the more you build around being able to play it on curve, the better off you're going to be. Leon and War Leader. When Leon and War Leader attacks, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink that are tapped and attacking. That means you are going to be able to swing with this, create 2 angels that are tapped and attacking. You're swinging for 12 right there. Bam! Just let's do this. So that's why I say Leon and War Leader a little bit higher up on the priority list. Again, Witness could be added, but I don't think I would want to go that route. If I peeled back on anything else, it would maybe be a Goblin Instigator or something like that. Again, you want Tilonalli Summoner later in the game. You don't want to see this in your opening hand. You don't want to see this on turn, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You want to see this turn 6 and beyond, right? And, that's where this card is going to be broken. Every time we had this card, it was on those later turns, and that's when it was just absolutely broken, and that's where you want it. And that's why I say, a couple copies of this, great. Add another Witness. I don't know. I don't know if I would add another Witness. Honestly, this is probably, if I was going to piggyback off of the original deck, this is probably the adjustments I would make to the deck. Don't know if I would go much different from this. It's a lot of 4-drops, right? I mean, that's running a lot of 4-drops, and that could get really dangerous. Maybe even need to not bring in the Ajani whatsoever. Just run the Karn, and then at that point, you could add another Haunted Witness. So, this might actually be the better configuration of it. Just not bring the Ajani in the main board. Yeah. Come to think of it, less 4-drops would probably be better. It would be more consistent anyway. I mean, so you've got like 1 or 2 little cards here you can play with. So, the deck's really, really sweet. If you do splash it into green, I would instantly trade the Summoner out for Emiria. Goblin Instigator could probably become something else as well, because, there's some green-white cards that can produce some tokens. History Benalia is really sweet. Be really careful with your mana base, because you don't want to drop your History Benalias. There's going to be so many games you're just going to win off of history. And, messing up your mana base so that you can't cast History Benalia is going to be a little bit, iffy. So, I can see why the deck's just Boros. So, you need more -3 targets. Right. Well, we've got -3 targets. The more I look at it, the less I like Ajani in this deck. I like him in the sideboard because, you can start getting back your Direfleet Daredevils. And if you're bringing Direfleet Daredevil in, then, bringing Ajani in feels really good against a lot of matchups. So, anyway, again, my opinion, Divine Visitation, make a token the turn that it comes down. Heroic Reinforcements does not do that. Summoner does not do that. Even History doesn't play really well into that, but History's powerful enough on its own. So, having the curve of being able to go, turn 1 Legion's Landing, turn 2 Goblin Instigator, turn 3 Legion Warboss, turn 4 Leon and War Leader into a turn 5 Divine Visitation is a broken curve. That curve is extremely powerful, and it's going to be very hard for just about any deck to be able to keep up with that. They're going to have to spend their kill spells stopping the Legion War Boss. Then they're going to have to spend a kill spell stopping the Leonin War Leader. And you know, that's a really, really powerful line of play, and I just think that that's the way you're going to be able to break these Divine Visitation decks. Do I think this deck's like worth picking up the cards, taking this to F&M? Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Yeah, I would highly recommend this. This is one of the best builds devs built in quite some time. I do like it. And I know I've talked mad shit about Tilonalli Summoner all night, but even I'm not taking it completely out of the deck. I just don't think I want it on turn 3 or turn 4, you know. That Convoke Loxodon, I don't know if this is really the right place for that. I would rather have the combat trick of Unbreakable Formation instead of the Venerated Loxodon. So that's my opinions on it, guys. Again, that's just my opinion, and you guys are entitled to your opinion. You can leave those in the comment section below. But you're going to have a good argument for cards that do not produce a token the turn that Divine Visitation comes down. Tithe Taker. Tithe Taker is actually really, really interesting. I actually probably would run Tithe Taker over Goblin Instigator. I mean, yeah, you're going to make some tokens, right? But Tithe Taker might actually be a more powerful card. That's interesting. That is very interesting. That being said, there's some knights that might fit in this. So, Title Taker. You mean the Repo Man? I'm sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. I just realized it was like the typo. You're all about your Esper Angels, right? Right. The Afterlife with Tithe Taker could be very, very good. The other side of things is drawing on a little bit of synergy. So yeah, guys, that's all I've got. If you guys want to help support the channel, don't forget to hit that like button. That's the easiest way to do it. Hit that like button. If you don't like my idea, my response to Tilonalli Summoner, I guess you can hit the dislike button. Either one is an interaction, and it will help the channel out. So, if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to the content. If you want to support the content, the link for my Patreon page is in the description box below. Even a buck helps out a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you that are my patrons. But I also really, really appreciate all of you that hit that like button and help out my my YouTube metrics. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all the new people that have been recently joining the channel. Thank you very much for that. Again, you know, I'm not trying to rip anything away from Dev. I'm not trying to say these are bad decks, these are good decks. I'm just trying to give you another opinion on it. It's my channel. I'm allowed to do that, I guess. Great deck, Dev. If you're watching this, dude. This deck was good. This deck was really good. Had some really interesting lines, and gave you a lot to think about. Wasn't just this mindless, I'm just playing out. There were things to think about. Even small things like playing Legion War Boss on turn 4 versus turn 3. Just great, great, great. I do like the deck, and I think this is a really powerful deck. Other than that, I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG.